reminded me of Blockhead and the weird kind of clearly chopped samples. Have you heard of Origami Biro?
Our Pay It Forward series, where I send our guest curator each month a recommendation based on what I know about them, what they thought and what they felt about it. So now it's time to go over either to my past self and this month's guest curator to see what recommendation I gave them. I'd like you all to welcome back now Pat Dooner from the Broken Orchestra, and we're going to do Pay It Forward recommendations. So this is where I've recommended something to Pat and he's taken a listen to it, and we're now going to have a little chat about it. So what did you think, Pat, of One Tusk by Moth Equals?
I really loved it. I really enjoyed it. It was a really nice nighttime listen, and it reminded me of lots of things. Parts of it were maybe a little bit too on the nose in places for me, but I think on the whole, I really enjoyed it. Have you heard of Origami Biro?
No, that's a great name.
Yeah, it's a great name. So Origami Biro, like, I think they might have been a duo, but I don't know if they're still active as that. I think they probably are. I think they've released an album recently, but they create really odd, clearly kind of chopped and sampled music, but they play a lot of it themselves. So you almost have to hear it to get the reference. But it felt a bit like that. It reminded me a bit of, like I say, there's a Blockhead album.
It's got that Bollywood influence on it. So
yeah,
like Blockhead sometimes seems to sample things from Eastern music and Turkish music and stuff.
I did a little reading into it and couldn't find an awful lot of stuff about them. I listened to the first album they did, which I didn't think was quite as good as that one. It feels like it's improved quite a bit.
Yeah, I've not heard anything else by them yet, but I was really impressed with that. I can see what you mean with it being on the nose in places. It's not necessarily the subtlest of albums, especially if you're coming from the perspective of a producer who knows those inner workings of everything.
I think it does make you think, oh, I know what's going on there, and I think that can be potentially a bit of a downfall when listening to music, because it's nice to be surprised. I think the album flows really well. I think nothing kind of overran for me. It felt good. It's a sort of thing you can absorb into and just sink into. It's like not a intense listen. It washes over you quite well. So who reminded me as well was we were signed to a Canadian label in the 2013, and that was run by the group. Have you heard Berry Waite?
No.
So they were affiliated with, in some capacity, with Wax Taylor, who is similar in style. Like the production style of it's really similar. So it reminded me of both those artists, Wax Taylor, who I don't know if they're still going or not, but I presume they will be.
I don't know why.
But they're both similar in style, sort of Berry Waite more, but Berry Waite a mix of a Canadian and Swiss artist that kind of worked together. I think it's Swiss. They worked together on an album, kind of, and it was really, I think it did relatively well. I think it got placed in various different things. It's got that kind of
nice.
It's got that kind of placement, that kind of advert, TV, film placement vibe to it. And I think the same thing could be said for One Tusk. I think it's got that same kind of similar kind of vibe. It's been sampled or it's been chopped up, but that kind of adds to the feel of it, I think.
I think the problem there, isn't it, is that unless you're DJ Shadow, like no one will pay to clear that stuff for an advert anymore.
Yeah.
So I remember like a couple of years ago, DJ Shadow was in like a big BMW commercial or something.
Really?
Like, wow. And then you're just like, but you're like, that's because he's got all the reps that he's got. And people, of course, the BMW is going to go, here's X amount of $1,000 for that.
Yeah.
But if you're Blockhead or you're even smaller than Blockhead, it's not happening.
Yeah, true. So I really enjoyed it. It was a great listen. It's definitely added to the list of things to listen to, which is good.
Cool. Excellent. I'm really happy with that.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for recommending it. It's great. Thank you all for watching this video. If you want to support Eclectic Selections and join our community, there are various ways that you can do that. Number one, you can like, comment and subscribe right here on YouTube. This helps our video get noticed by the YouTube algorithm, and it helps other music lovers like you find great music. You can, 2, follow us over on Twitter. Here you'll get the latest news and you'll get extra recommendations
You'll be able to keep up to date with everything Eclectic Selections. You can join our Ko-fi, which is just like Patreon, so you can support us and you'll get access to extra content like private playlists with loads of recommendations, extra video recommendations from our guests, all that good stuff. And there's more coming in the future. Join our Discord community where you can chat with other music lovers and myself about music and other subjects too. All the links for all of that down in the description in our link tree. Thanks again for watching, and until next Thursday, keep it eclectic.